Hello, welcome to Let's Talk Careers with Sara. Today is a topic that actually very interesting. Why is getting a job is easier when you already have one? So here is what I found on Reddit. I'm getting a bit discouraged. Can employers discriminate against you if you are not working? It's like places look for reasons not to hire you. Unfortunately, this is true. If you are not employed and you are looking for a job, it is so much harder to get hired than if you do have a job and you're quietly searching. It's so much easier to get a job. So let's find out more reasons why. I think it's also less pressure on the applicant, so you perform better in the interview, less stress knowing you already have a job, and in a more comfortable position to negotiate salary. You've got more bargaining chips at your disposal. And this is true. So when you have a job and you're looking for another job, you have more time to negotiate for salary. You are not looking, you're pressured, you are desperate to get hired. You have more room. You show, if not you, I got somewhere else to go and look for a job. So you're kind of like, I'm not in a hurry. I have plenty of time to actually get a job. So another one saying, this is a very interesting, being poached from a company that perceives you as successful, gives you a lot of leverage. If you are pretty happy where you are and can take every offer or interview at your leisure, that's great. But when you are desperate to leave your job, having a job means nothing because you won't have time to interview or make meaningful choices. You will just leave into the next garbage job because it's different. So yes, so when you already have a job and you're quietly searching, you are perceived as successful. Unfortunately, this is what it is. I always tell, when you are leaving a job, think twice because it is much more harder to get a job. If you're watching me on Instagram, in my Instagram stories, in my reels, you will understand that I recommend for anybody. When I hear a candidate telling me, I want to quit, I want to leave a job, I'm like, no. You are silently, quietly going to look for a job because you know it's going to be so much harder to get a job than when you don't have one. This bargaining power is everything because a lot of time the hiring process is a negotiation. If they determine you have what they want, it's then a game of offering something that's worth it for you. The scales are tilted against you when their offer just has to bid nothing to pay or benefits. I like to think of it this way. Labor works the same way other goods and services do with supply and demand. If your supply is low and demand is high, you will pay more. In this context, accept lower pay and benefits to get a job. It's about bargaining power a lot of the time. I'm not saying I totally agree with that approach though. You can create leverage by having multiple offers at once, which is true. This is even better because when you have multiple offers at once, you can say, I need a decision right now because I have another offer waiting for me. So if I am hired, let me know. If you can match my salary, let me know now. This is what you want to say, that you are actually on demand. Even if you don't have a job, it all comes down to your desperation. Unemployed but have skills and savings, you are fine. Desperate to leave your job for anything because you're miserable, just as bad as being unemployed. Now, there is a fair point. There are plenty of potential ways to build bargaining power. Straight up charisma plays a factor too. For sure, employers and recruiters tend to have better or not showing they're desperate to fill a role. And that can also work in the applicant's favor, even if it isn't obvious on the surface. Now, there is another side of having this interview going on. So to go through an agency staffing firm, they generally only deal with unemployed people because they want to fill roles ASAP and know that most employed people will give a 2-week notice. Since I'm hired through a staffing agency right now, I'm just hoping new employers will give me a chance in a month when I start sending out applications again. Hopefully being a contract worker isn't a red flag for them. So there's a question about what if you are a contract employee, like what do you do in this situation? Because you are not actually leaving a job, you are not actually being fired, but your contract is about to expire. So in this case, they are understandable. They understand that you work for a contract and they know you're not going to give a 2 weeks notice because your contract isn't expired yet. So in that case, it shows you're loyal, you're professional, and you're fine. I've had a few contract positions, never had it counted against me to my knowledge. Rather, acknowledging it was a contract position seems to help employers understand that I wasn't just leaving jobs on whims. I was hired for a specific task or term, and it was successfully completed. Another Reddit message says, it depends. Have you always work only contract, or is this the first time? I know since COVID, many people have taken on contract work because they had to. But if you have worked contract work for 5+ years, then it's a little different. Also, contract employees are not bad. Most contractors are hired to clean up and hit the ground running versus going through long training periods, which is absolutely true. To be honest, I don't like applicants who have worked at 10 different companies in the past 10 years. It's a red flag for me. That is true. You are considered as a job hopper. So that means in a year from now, you're going to leave the job somewhere else, and all the training that they've been giving you, all the benefits that you've been receiving, it's now going away to trash because now they need to hire somebody who is not going to leave in a year. So that's also you need to take into consideration. Where are they seeing people get hired? Don't they just post a job and get assumes? I'm seriously confused by this concept. It sounds like the answer to OP's question, and this is how recruiters think, but I disagree. In fact, that not all jobs are recruiters and most are posted online. So why would an employed person who hasn't submitted a resume find work easier than someone who has? So that comes down into networking. So when you know somebody who you are friends with and he is working in a certain company and tells you about, I have a job that in my company they offer benefits, they offer this, they offer that, and they offer a great pay. I think you should join my company, right? You have a friend telling you that, and you're working. You say, you know what? I should really do that. So you give your resume and a recommendation at the same time from your friend, because your friend might get a commission for recommending you, by the way, but that's another story. So that's how the person can get a job without posting a resume in the job posting website, but through a referral. If you are watching my videos and I've been really explaining so much about networking, I explain it right here, you will understand more by just subscribing to my channel and also hitting the bell button for notifications for more videos like this. You're going to be more knowledgeable, more prepared, and you will be happy at your career. You just need the right person to guide you, to let you know where exactly you should be applying and how much you should be asking and exactly how to do it fast. If you apply for a job, usually submit an employment history, and if you have a job, one of them will be listed as current. If you are not employed, it will not show a current job, thus they will see you as either employed or unemployed. If you are unemployed, they will think, why are you a bad employee? Outside of that, things like LinkedIn will show people whatever you have set your current job to be. After reading this, I think I'll stay at my current job, so at least I can have slightly better chance of getting an interview. I can only hope they will rehire me as I'll be going to a special training school for disabilities. Well, that's a fair chance for you to know. LinkedIn will show you my last job until I update it. If I have a job, why not? Why would I submit an employment history to anyone else? To get a new one for better perks. That's true. So here's the interview thing that you can get the analogy as. It's kind of like dating. When some people see that you are in a loving, stable relationship, they see that you have a meeting expectations, and they would be happily snag you post breakup or even start an affair. Statistics show that men are considered more desirable if they are in a relationship. Let me know if that's true. I would love to know it in the comments. If you are unemployed or single, then no one is actively showing that you are worth employing or dating. It gets worse with time. The longer in between relationships, personal or professional, the harder it will be to get into a relationship, because the longer you go without someone being interested in you, the more people think something is wrong with you, which is true. So take that analogy as well. This right here, you always want what's just out of reach. If it's really true across the board thing of sales for home, car, consumer goods. The longer something sits, the less desirable it becomes, for no good reason other than you don't want to get the thing that tons of others have already rejected. It's like real estate being sold right now. So many houses up for 90 days and being revised down in price. The starting an affair clause is the highlight here. That thinking is why too many HR people and hiring managers are lazy and horrible managers. Those people see nothing wrong with enticing married men or women to cheat on their partner. It's less effort to poach someone else's stuffer than go find one that's available. Nobody's out there really means nobody will jump ship right now. My ego is way too fragile to allow me to give any attention at all to an unemployed, does not deserve and work person, so I'll just distribute the work internally, overworking my staff until someone as a competing firm leaves, then waits out their non-compete and will accept this meager salary I'll offer them. Oh, will my trouble ever end? This resumes from unemployed people are such trash, so worthless. That's what really means. So what this person is trying to say, that the company within the hiring managers are going to actually overwork the staff, is going to overwork the manager. By the way, my next video will be about how you know you are quietly getting promoted. So tune in for next video after this video is published. So the next one will be about that. So yes, so they are going to overwork because they would rather have you quit before you're actually going to ask for a raise or for a promotion. So this employer says this is what he's about to do, and it's not only him, it's any other hiring managers, any other general managers, any other supervisors will do that, because they'll try to suck out of you as much as they can until you ask for that salary. It's less effort to poach someone else's staffer than to go find that's available. I disagree with this part. It's always easier to recruit and work with someone that's available. Poaching people that aren't looking is significantly harder, as you have to craft individual message to be effective. The vast majority will never respond to any messaging, and those that do will be extremely picky and harder to schedule and negotiate with. I knew this existed for employment, but dating really, if someone has been single for a few years, they are less desirable simply because they have been single? As a dude, this never crosses my mind, but do women really think this way? A couple of studies have shown that a significant percentage of women and men think this way, but as I've said before, and this may come down to my writing isn't clear enough. This isn't being a romantic relationship. This will improve a chance of getting hired. This is a romantic relationship are a lot like professional relationships. Lazy people will want to have a relationship with someone who is proven success rather than take a risk of someone who they haven't been performing successfully. Yes, in my experience, women think this way. Typically, men who want to be dating sincerely and are catch will find women. Women aren't fools. They will lock down quality men, accept their advance. Men who go years without dating and don't have extenuating circumstances, military, looking after allying parents, building their empire, are going to get a long, hard second look from discerning women because it's assumed he's either a playboy or struggles to get a quality attention prospect due to some deal breaker. Now, is this reality? No, of course not. My husband had 0 girlfriends before me, other than very casual dating puppy love. He was a full-grown adult. We didn't meet in high school either, and he's a wonderful partner. So this is getting too much about dating. So also, when you don't have a job, you're perceived as a lazy person. I personally think that it reflects lazy people who can't put the effort into building healthy relationships, and so they mooch of other people's work building healthy relationships. So you are not putting any effort. The fact that you are at the interview, they might just say, you are putting effort, but why you're not getting hired? Like, why they should be the first one to hire you? Yes, it is dangerous to hire someone if they are working, then someone else has taken the gamble and it paid off. So I'm safer in hiring you now. That's another mentality that I can think of. That seems like a fallacy. There are shitty employees all over the world. Many of them have prior work history, but that logic, I would be safer hiring any shitty employee because they have already worked somewhere else. No, I would argue that it's a perception trick, both on the employee and the employer. The employer could possibly perceive that the employee is more valuable because they are currently employed, and the employer will have to poach the employee if they truly want them. Only the employee side, I would think that the lack of desperation isn't there to threaten them and drive them. If you are already employed, then you aren't sitting at home mass spamming applications and trying to acquire employment before their finance collapse. The bottom line is, if you are employed and you're quietly leaving by searching simultaneously while you're working, you are gonna get hired for sure. What I recommend, and with my experience, every time if I wanted to leave a job, I would not quit and then look for a job. That wasn't me. I would start the process of looking for a job after work hours. I would sit on the computer, start submitting my resumes, going for an interview, taking days off from work, going for interviews, and I just do that. I did not have to take too many days off because I would get hired instantly. So by that, I would just give my 2 weeks notice. I would tell the interviewer, I'm currently working, but I am planning to give 2 weeks notice. So that was said. They understand I'm currently working. They know I'm leaving in 2 weeks because I already found something, and that makes me to transition into a new position in a much happier way. Same thing, it can happen to you. People make mistakes because they don't have experience, they don't have guidance, they don't understand that you need to transition smoothly. You cannot just quit, give 2 weeks notice, and then go where? Home? It's not an option. So take my advice. Watch my next video of how you are quietly being promoted without noticing. So look for the signs and let me know in the comments, what do you think about getting a job is easier while you're working or it's harder? when you don't get a job, when you don't have a job. Subscribe to my channel, share this video with your friends, like this video, and I'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching this video. I would love to invite you to be part of my community where you are a member as a candidate chat room. Upon joining, you will receive tons of information. You will receive templates, ebooks, products, tips, advice, strategies, and weekly emails where you can actually ace your interview, build your career from ground up, and get promoted as needed. You can also ask any questions that you want, and I will be able to answer to my members first and then to my YouTube community. The link to join is in the description. I'm going to see you in the candidate chat room forum.